All right, cool. Let's roll. Super. So many things, two things happened this week, but it's been happening for a really long time. A lot of different uh, topics have popped up surrounding Title IX. This week was the most annoying week for me yet,
Mm,
and
Figured
uh,
we should talk about it.
yeah, Riley Gaines, took to Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, and asked the question, "Why do we even freaking have Title IX?" And honestly, I have no idea.
Mhm.
And Title IX basically happened in 1972. It just uh, protected people um, from being discriminated based off their sex in federally funded educational programs or whatever. So basically, it gave women their area to work out of, have their own sports, have equal amounts of money funding their sports. If boys had new cleats, if boys had new, uniforms or whatever, girls had to have the same thing.
Mhm.
And it afforded the same amount of money. If boys had football, girls had field hockey. If boys had soccer, girls had soccer, and it just allowed girls to have kind of the rights in sports in school as the boys did.
Mhm.
And so this week, fun. Um, uh, her his name is Megan Cortez Fields. He's a senior um, at New Jersey College. I think it's called Rapinoe or Rapinoe. I've never even heard of it. But basically, he was a middle of the pack swimmer for the men. He swam for the men for 3 years. Middle of the pack dude. And now this year has been swimming for the women. And because he identifies as transgender, he is not trans. He has not gone through any transitions. Like, he just identifies as a trans woman. And uh, he has set two records. He in the individual medley and the butterfly. No shit. Like,
Obviously.
no kidding. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people are praising this. I don't, these women have worked their entire lives to get scholarships to Division I, Division II, Division III schools, and then you have a dude come in after swimming for the men for 3 years, and then come in for the women's meet and win everything. Like, no shit. Of course, of course they do. It's it And when Riley Gaines took to X to say it, why do we even have Title IX? What's the point? What the freak is the point? You know what I mean? And she's the one that sparked it. She, I guess, lost to Leah Thomas when that was the beginning of all of this for the most part. And this isn't even like, this is, I think it's not drawing enough attention because it's not a contact sport. Right? Like, the Dems are dug in. They're dug in on defending trans rights and blah, 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 and whatever, and they can't backpedal now.
Mhm.
They dug in. So something really crappy is gonna have to happen to a female before they can get out of this mess.
Well, we talked about it when we talked about the female boxer. That's a contact sport,
Yeah.
and so when there was a trans woman that was competing in the biological women's division,
Yeah, the MMA.
the MMA,
Yeah.
sorry, contact.
Yeah.
Contact sport. And I said it on that one, and I will echo what you said. It's going to take a trans woman killing a biological
Biological
woman on air in the most open, vulnerable platform possible for people to start having conversations about the
ramifications of this.
just
This is
the
not a contact sport, so they don't care yet. But and also too, the MMA thing, they're in a professional sport, so the Dems don't care about that either. because you're an adult. It's a professional women's sport, but and we'll get to the basketball one that just happened as well. But
Mhm.
they're not even. It's so frustrating because they're not even trans. You're just identifying as trans. You're identifying as a woman. And in no way, shape, or form do I think that a man can actually become a woman or a woman can actually become a man. There's in no world will it ever be fair for a biological male to play sports against a biological female. In no world, no matter how many hormones you take, when you start taking them, in no freaking world
Mhm.
will it ever be fair.
Mhm.
So I don't even what I you know what I'm saying? And it's so frustrating, dude. Like to sit back and watch these college age girls work so hard there because I know what that takes. You start when you're like 5
Mhm.
to gain all the muscle and all of the power output and the stamina and the whatever to be able to go play for a college, and then everything you work for just gets destroyed because a dude's and if you pull up the picture, you can't pull it up. Don't pull it up. I
I
don't
won't.
wanna pull it
I
up.
won't because
But if
there's
you
there's
actually it
other
was in the
girls in there.
post, you can pull it up yourself. If you look at the post today, there's actually a picture of this, Megan Cortez Fields standing with 4 other girls in swimsuits, and
You can
you can
clearly
clearly
see.
see that he's a man.
Mhm.
Clearly see
Mhm.
that he's a man.
Mhm.
So and he's got full facial hair,
What did I
right?
do?
It's,
Mhm.
um
I don't
but
know.
yeah, that's got all the activists up, and then the second thing, which is the most important, Jeff, I don't know if you know this, but your freaking video's off. You're
Uh,
you're still
yeah, I
live.
noticed. I
You're
noticed that it says the camera unplugged, but I'm looking at it very plugged in, so
okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
The second
Oh,
one,
there you are.
Whatever.
which to me is the most disturbing and to me proves my point the most, and this is the one I wanna spend the most amount of time on, is, it was a high school basketball game that was played in Massachusetts, in Lowell, Massachusetts. It's like KIPP Academy. It's a private school, and they played another team who, really wasn't mentioned. And if you wanna play this video, Jeff, go ahead, play this video. It's basically on the KIPP team, there's a trans woman on the KIPP team who is over 6 feet tall and, again, has full facial hair, no transition happened.
This one.
Yeah. Right? Fights for the ball. The biological girl is clearly hurt.
He's tall.
He's over 6 feet tall.
They're little. Look at them.
Look at him walk off. Look at him walk off. Look at him next to his teammate.
Oh, they're small.
Like, literally not even close. You know what I mean? And this one I will say, so that happens in actual basketball games, right? Like, you go up for a rebound, you both grab the ball, you're both holding onto the ball, you fight for it, you tussle for it, someone gets thrown, um, whatever. It wasn't like he did it on purpose,
Mhm.
but at the same time, that's what happens when you put a boy with a girl.
Mhm.
She's gonna get hurt.
Mhm.
They
True.
just have more they have bigger muscles, and I think I saw it in here, like Judy Reed said, the wingspans and the muscular structure of these men, like, women can't do it. It's even me. I was a big female playing,
Mhm.
but I still wasn't strong enough to physically hurt another girl like that.
I mean, you can even just take the comparison of you and Jeff. Jeff is shorter than you,
Yeah.
and he's
And he
staturally smaller smaller in stature than you. He's still stronger than you. He still
Yeah.
can his muscle and his bone density and all of that stuff is still different than yours. And I think that it's when you start talking about the biology of women versus men, that's where this whole thing comes and everybody starts losing their mind And all of a sudden now biology is not a thing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's not real. Biology is not real. And it's like, it is.
It very much is.
It is. And so
No matter
it's
what.
it's this whole idea of like, what's the facts and what's the stories? And it's not to take away if you identify this way, if you see yourself in a different way, it still doesn't take away the biological facts of the way that your body is.
Yeah.
It just is.
No matter what, Jeff's hands are always going to be bigger than mine. Doesn't matter what puberty blockers he took, if he doesn't lift weights or whatever, the size of his fist is always going to be bigger than mine.
Yeah, and the argument is well, we've watched different podcasts and people have had different things to say where it's like, well, I've been on, hormones for 3 years.
Yeah.
Still doesn't change the density, this doesn't change the structure of your body.
But then, and if you do want to do that and you do want to tell boys, oh, sure, you can play with the girls, that means that you have to start giving boys puberty blockers at like 9, which is a horrible thing also.
Yeah.
So there's no world in my mind in which boys can play in women's sports.
Yep.
At all.
Mm-hmm.
Judy Reed, I also wouldn't want my daughter in a locker room with a man or my son changing in front of females. Common decency. You're right. And what does that, I mean, I'll even go down that road with you. What does that do, like psychologically, like for your sexual growth? You're not supposed to be seeing that at 14, 15, 16 years old. That's not supposed to be.
Not opposite stuff, no.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like you don't even let your kid change in the kitchen when I'm there.
Yeah, no.
It's like no bathroom. Kid, the bathroom. Close the door.
Yeah,
even
in front of us. He's 6, and we're already starting to put boundaries on.
Change in your room.
Change in your room. I'm in the bedroom. Like I need privacy. Like I'm in the bathroom. I need privacy. And we use that word a lot. Privacy. Like what is yours? What is mine? What you need to do? You know what I mean? Like you need to teach we need to teach him.
Yeah. Proper boundaries.
And like, I just don't.
And that's a boundary. And these kids, the basketball one, they're in high school. You know what I mean? They're in high school. He's out there running around with high school girls. How confusing is that?
Oh, and maybe that's the bigger conversation, is that all of a sudden nobody understands that we all have boundaries. The teachers don't have boundaries. The counselors don't have boundaries. The kids don't have boundaries. Some of these parents don't have boundaries. Nobody has boundaries. And it's like, I can invade your space because I'm telling you my truth.
Yeah.
That might be your truth. That's fine. That might be your actual truth. But my boundary is that I deserve to have the boundary, and I also need to feel comfortable, and I also need to feel safe. So we want to do all this stuff, and we want to honor some boundaries, and we want to honor how some people see themselves. And we also need to take in consideration that the boundaries that I have, and for the safety of myself too.
Yeah, Leah Thomas shared the locker room with female swimmers. So traumatic. Yeah, I mean, I remember those stories from those ladies that when it came out, and they were in college, and it was traumatic for them. So we're doing this now. I mean, I don't know where this high school boy is changing. I don't know if he's changing in female. The article doesn't say that. It just says that, that basketball team literally had to forfeit because too many girls were hurt. Too many biological girls were hurt on the other team
by this one player.
By halftime, they had to forfeit.
If that's not telling, I don't know what is.
And I don't even blame the boy. I don't blame him. I blame the adults that allow this to happen. He's not freaking old enough to know what he's doing. Why are you not telling him what he's doing? We, as varsity players, we played against the boys JV team all the time just to feel the speed and the power. And, if we could play against and we're varsity playing against JV, and we're feeling the speed and the power of boys 2 years younger than us. And those boys knew not to go full speed against us because we could get hurt.
Yeah.
This boy doesn't know that.
But that was also an understanding. That was also
Yeah,
a conversation.
The
That was
coach
also
was helping us.
That was also
Yeah.
a boundary that was set right there. Okay, guys, we need you guys to be at the speed that you guys do, but contact. Don't be full force
Yeah.
contact with these girls, but speed wise, like make a move.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
was a conversation and there was a boundary that was set and everybody understood. So if you went up for a shot or something, or one of your teammates that was smaller than you went up for a shot, and one of the guys on the other team that was practicing with you bumped a little bit too hard, there was a conversation, there was a reset, my bad. But there was a clear understanding of what it was in the beginning.
But boys and men can even understand where their body is in space better than we can because they're able to be in space longer. They're able to jump higher for a longer hang time than we can. So if they even feel like, oh, I'm going to bump and disrupt this person, I can like stop. It is not football, but basketball. It's possible. And they always did. They knew that they were playing against girls. This kid doesn't know he's playing against girls. He's playing at full speed boy strength. That's
or he does. Or he does.
I don't think he's in high school. I honestly, in my mind, I mean, and we can debate this. I honestly think it's the adult's fault. It's the adult.
Yeah, I don't.
He should not be on that team and he should understand things. And it's the adult's fault for saying, hey, yo, it's okay to go full speed. And I would bet like a lot of money that he's not on puberty blockers, that he hasn't been on puberty blockers since the dude is over 6 feet tall and has facial hair. No way he's on puberty blockers or has been on puberty blockers. Same with the swimmer. Like, no way. You got you got to go T, bro. Like, you're not on puberty blockers and you've transitioned nothing. So, and it's not fair even if they're on puberty blockers. It's really not fair if they're not.
Yeah.
So why even have girl sports then? Just like
put them all together.
Yeah, just play all together, sign a liability waiver, and let the chips fall with it. Because then what's the next thing? You're gonna allow, Steph Curry to come play in the WNBA?
Yeah, let's have LeBron go there.
Or
Score
even not
800 rounds. Major basketball game.
Pick one of the players that plays like for $10,000 a year that rides the bench on the worst team in the NBA, and we lose all the time. Let me go join the New York Liberty and win every fucking thing. What? Someone's gonna get hurt. And that's what I've always said. And that's what's starting to happen. These girls in high school are starting to get hurt.
Well, eventually there's going to get to a point where women are not going to pursue sports. It's going to get to a point. Biological women, if this is going to continue and trans women can be in women's sports, then biological women are going to stop playing sports.
True.
They're not going to put their time. They're not going to put their money. They're not going to put their bodies through, their efforts through. They're not going to ask their parents to pay all this money.
I don't even think it's the kids. I think it's the parents that are going to stop doing it. They're going to stop letting their little girls go do it. They're going to stop paying the money for that. And for what? Why? Because some trans dude's going to walk onto the team and take all their daughters' like accolades.
That was the biggest thing that Riley says from her experiences. She's like, I have worked so hard for this. She has worked.
It is a terrible future. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right, let me think about it. If I had a daughter.
I do.
You do.
There you go.
Would you let her play on a team that was playing against another team? And you can think we have examples now we have the basketball example. We have the volleyball example where the girl got her nose freaking broken.
The MMA.
We have the MMA. We have the swimming. We have weightlifting. We have would you, in a contact sport, would you let your daughter play against a trans woman or a?
I mean, right now, I don't think she likes contact sports.
I'm just saying.
I get it. I don't think she does. So I think for now I'm fine. Against any dude in contact? No, because she's gonna get hurt.
I wouldn't. I gotta say I
can't have one on her team and then have them changing together and having her ask me questions about it, like, well, hey, what's up with this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why you're seeing that. I don't know why you shouldn't be seeing that at all.
Right. But again, that I believe that conversations like that, and we've talked about this a lot too. I believe conversations about the opposite sex needs to be a parent conversation. It
I
doesn't
mean,
need
there's a school like, sex ed crap. There's that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that this whole movement that's going on, you know, teachers, parents are being left out. That's my point. Is that parents are being left out of the conversation. Teachers are taking control, counselors are taking control, um, school as a whole is taking control. Friends, all of these things. Like, yeah, you learn things from your friends. Like, nobody's going to change that. I learned a lot of stuff from my friends that I didn't learn from my parents. I'm not saying that there's not growth in that. There's not just organic, natural conversations that come up between friends, as you're growing up. But parents are being left out of the conversation because other adults are taking control of what they want and what agendas that they feel. So,
My thing is, we fought so hard for women to have women things and women spaces and all this stuff, and we're not protecting women anymore. We're protecting men again. And guys, any of the guys, I love all of you, and I'm not like saying, but I'm just saying men and women's sports, like we're not protecting women anymore. Like
Oh no,
somehow
the guys know. The guys understand that. Don't worry about it.
we went so feminist, like this weird new age feminism thing, that now we've come full circle and we're all the way back to where we're not protecting women anymore, and women don't have their own things anymore.
yeah,
No.
because the identity of a woman to some people in some conversations doesn't even exist anymore. Like, there's no identity of what a woman is. Because if you say, I believe the most woman thing that I have ever done is give birth, I'm phobic. I'm against everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I believe that that is the most woman thing that I have ever done, is birth and bring life.
I mean, that's
Because that is
Yep.
that
kind
is
of
my
something
right. That is what I was
can't do.
given.
Yeah.
That is my biology.
Yes.
That is, and being able to breastfeed and naturally give the milk from my own body, the nutrients, the best kind of thing that I could give our son. That is the most woman thing that I have ever been gifted to be able to do. And by saying that, I'm against everybody else.
Yeah, and this trend is it's just starting to take everything away. Like they're just taking over what it is that women do. Where women even and I didn't even want to get into this tonight, but for just a quick second, even the whole like trans women starting to breastfeed or chest feed or whatever the hell they're calling it. It's absolutely they're just in
How are they
all
doing that?
women's spaces.
How are they doing that?
It's medically induced with medication, and it's some weird thing that it's not even milk.
That
It's
can't be healthy because it's medicated the fuck up.
Yeah, it's not healthy for
It's
any newborn. I feel like it's child abuse,
You
period.
can't
But
be
it's not.
medicated to shit, forcing something your body doesn't do. You better off just wearing the fake chest with the milk in it from the mom, and let's do that. Dad it up.
yeah, Jody, I absolutely agree with you. The only fair and logical solution is to start a third league and call it a trans league. I absolutely agree with that. I
they
think
don't feel like they're separate. They gotta feel like they're top
but
dog.
their ideology is that they are women, that there's literally no difference between us and them. And they want to be seen that way. They want to be heard that way. They want to have
all the things
that
you guys have.
And if we could all talk and have a conversation and just be like, hey, what's good for our kids? What's good for our adults? I mean, if you want to, and that is what's good for them. Have your own league, the same way we have all the different, like we have adaptive classes, we have the female, the masters, the age groups, the teens that have all those things, but they don't want that because they want to be women. Like
they got special needs classes. They got people in wheelchairs doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like
is just a giant fight for the conversation. Is like we're saying we are women. We actually have all of the parts and our body works that way, and that's the muscle tone we have, and this is what we've been given by God, and they're saying that they are us, and there's no there's like there's no bridge. No one's willing to bridge the gap at all on that side.
Yeah.
I think on our side we are. But
Mhm.
if we even bring that up, then immediately we're transphobic and it's trans hate and blah, 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 whatever, which isn't the case at all.
Well, it still just goes back to the whole question of like, where are women supporting women? There's this fight to support trans women, and it seems like that the only fight is to support trans women. Like, where are the women supporting biological women? And I don't think by supporting one that you're completely dismissing the other. What you're saying is that we're not the same.
Right.
That we're not the same. It doesn't doesn't make you less than me. It doesn't mean that I want harm to come to you, but what I'm saying is that we're not the same. And that's also okay. We're not meant to be the same.
Right.
We're not meant to be cookie cutter. We're not meant to be we're not the same.
Yeah.
But when you say that, then what you're saying is that you're against something. It's this whole idea like both can be true. Both can be true.
Absolutely. I cannot want trans life for children, like a trans life for children. But I can also say, like, if you're an adult and you want to go live that way, go live that way. Have fun. I have no problems with it. Judy Reed, I don't know if I agree with the third league opening a can of worms. What a can of worms? Why? So like you mean in like college or high school or? I mean, I think it would be very difficult to open up a third league. I think it would have to be like a recreational type thing, like kind of just cracking their knuckles.
Sorry. Habit. Sorry.
I think you would have to open up like a recreational type thing where it would just kind of be like a come together community school thing. Hey, flyers, whatever. I don't know if it could be a federally funded thing, but I mean,
I don't think it's enough people to do that. Fund a whole sport league out of it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they could do it as like a NCAA thing, but they could there's frisbee golf, right?
There is frisbee golf.
Or like the flag football leagues that they have for school. That's just fun. Everybody signs up for it, goes out, plays, whatever. They could do that. But again, they will probably never do that because they want to be seen as women and that there's no difference between us and them.
Well, I think it also might be bringing up the question of how much of this do we actually want to what's the word I'm thinking of?
Entertain?
Yeah, for lack of a better word.
Oh, good question. D. Reed. Most men's divisions are considered open, means if you're good enough, you can play. If you allow trans into women, then you go against Title. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you're talking, most men's divisions are open. Even as a kid, I can remember playing Little League with the boys because at that age, there's not a whole lot of difference yet. Right? You're 5, 6, 7, whatever. You're playing Little League. You're hitting T-ball. You guys can all play together. Once that like 9, 10, 11, 12 thing starts to happen, then we get sketchy. So, but to answer his question real quick, most men's divisions are considered open. Yeah, because if you're good enough to play, as a woman, if I'm good enough to play, high school football with the boys, sure, because the risk's all on me. If I get hit by a 215-pound dude running a 4.5 40, the risk is on me. I don't have the muscle capacity to take that. Like, so if I get hurt, that's on me. But women, yeah, like Title IX,
don't get to choose.
like
That's what I was gonna say to kind of put both of your answers together or whatever. It's based off a choice.
Yeah.
If a biological woman chooses to go play in a men's sport, that's her choice. She knows the risk. She's taking those risks, like you said. It's all choice. But the difference is in what we've seen, and again, we haven't seen anywhere where every single biological woman has been okay with the choice of allowing a trans woman to be a part of the game, the sport, and whatever. That's taking choice away. So you might have some women that are okay with it, that don't mind, it doesn't matter to them, but not everyone. So you're taking away the choice from some.
Yeah.
Whereas if a biological woman chooses to participate in a men's sport, like I had a girl in high school and she played football.
Yeah.
She played boys football.
I'll take the
And
example of a female kicker, right? They keep trying to put a female kicker in college for football, or they want to see one in the NFL. Okay, fine, that's great, but there's so many ramifications to that. If the one hit that she takes and gets freaking destroyed by it, that dude is probably going to feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Even
True.
if
So the guy either holds back,
or the
or
guy
hits her like a train.
So either the guy can't play to full speed, or he hits her like a freaking Mack truck
And looks at like a fucking psychopath the rest of his life. Like, how dare you?
So either way, the dude's life is kind of also effed up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't. It's not fair for dudes, and it's not fair for the women. Like they kept pushing that all the time. Put a woman on a college, as a kicker. She kicks soccer. Women's soccer and men's football in college are two completely different freaking things.
Different. I was a goalie and I could punt a ball very far. I don't think I'd be able to punt or kick a field goal
with 7 or 12 dudes coming at you at full freaking full.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic here.
And that's not to take away what women can do.
Yeah. We're good at the things we do.
Women can do great things. And, maybe there is, with the way that trainings are going differently, that there's going to be a woman out there that can. Like, it's not saying it's not possible. But what it is saying is that it's all based off of choice. You're going to give people the choice, then maybe that's the third league.
It would be very tough. But even that, we're gonna boost a woman up and egg her on and tell her, hey, yeah, go play football, go play men's football, go play, whatever. And then she gets drilled into the ground and can't walk after that, or loses an eye socket or something ridiculous. And we gassed her up to go do it, knowing full well that these are
wasn't going well. And then now the career that she had worked so hard for is done. Because now what?
Why? Why are we doing this? And then on the flip side, we take away women's chances to do well and be great at their sport, and winning the NCAA championship, and you lost it to a dude in a woman's. I can't imagine how crushing that is.
It's almost like, what's the point?
Why work that hard?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Going back to what I said earlier, it's going to get to a point where biological women are no longer going to want to play sports. And this whole idea of a woman's sporting league, if we keep going this way, it's possible that down the line it could no longer exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because like we said earlier,
who wants to put in that much work?
Players are not going to want to put in the work, and parents are not going to want to fund. They're not going to want to fund the actual training, and they're not going to want to watch the mental breakdown that their daughters are going to have because they're never going to be the best.
Putting your kid in AAU is expensive. And not only is it expensive, it's time consuming. Your kid is playing every other weekend, if not every weekend, 4 or 5 games a weekend. You have to go pay for the travel and the hotel and all this stuff. Swimming is even more expensive because you need a freaking pool, whatever. Even any golf, expensive. Are we going to have trans women in golf now?
All competitive sports are expensive. And you know what? At the end of the day, the most valuable thing in training is time.
Yeah.
The most valuable thing in life is
It's
time.
time.
And who is going to give up all that time for training for something that is going to be taken away from them all the time?
Yep.
I would rather,
On the biggest stage.
yeah. Mhm.
On the biggest stage.
Mhm.
Men have are taking records away from women.
And being applauded for it.
Yeah. You're so strong.
Because
You're
they're so
great
courageous and brave.
for beating. And wasn't that always the thing? It's like, oh, so what? You beat a girl. I mean, yeah, you can take that
Basically.
loosely, but also you beat a girl who you're physically and biologically stronger than.
Well, growing up, it was like, you got beat by a girl. Like, God, what are
Yeah,
you
you
doing?
used to get made fun of that shit.
Yeah. But now let's go do that. That's the greatest thing ever. And I'm going to stand on a podium and raise my hand and be like, rah, rah. I'm the greatest.
No.
Nah, bro, you beat girls. You're a mediocre male athlete. So you came and beat a bunch of women. And now you're going to like go what? Hang that medal up in your room and say you're
Yeah.
the greatest and put it on IG?
The medal, the
Boy,
the-
bye. Like, boy, bye. No.
the interviews, the clout,
Yeah.
all the clickbait stuff.
I mean, yeah, Jody,
just too
even
CrossFit.
CrossFit. Sure, because there's a clear line between the women's side and the men's side. I mean, I know there was talk there for a hot second, but I think they were just kind of doing like to see what would happen. But I don't
No.
even think that's a good idea.
Don't do it.
I don't even think that's a good idea because let's say like a trans woman did enter the CrossFit Games and like Tia beat her. Then it would be like, sure, let all trans men or all trans women into the females. So that would be a lose-lose situation too. But, I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it would not help either. Either way, it would not help. It would, so, but yeah, so here
Well,
we are.
kudos back out to Riley for doing the thing.
Yeah,
always speaking her mind and bringing awareness. And,
she's my hero right now.
I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about save the tomboys, like save the daughters too. Like,
It's so
Just-
crazy too. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into that. We were just into sports. We're in sports right now. It's fine.
yeah, but I just,
Yeah.
again,
So many of them are happening. It's happening everywhere at this point.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like-
again, I say that if someone can come on here or have a conversation with me and explain it to me of how this is okay for our girls, this is okay for our daughters, and this is okay for our young women, and this is okay for the longevity of women's sports that so many women before fought for.
Yeah. Yeah.
With everything that they had.
Go back to
Literally-
all of them. Navratilova, Billie Jean King,
literally gave
forget the
their
boxer's name, but
entire life
yeah.
to get women the space to do their thing
And to be great.
and to be great.
And now they're taking it away again. So
Yep.
I hope everybody's proud of themselves over there.
Oh, they are. They are
I'm
so
sure
proud.
they are.
Because they don't want to get canceled.
Yep. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got a lot of these, so
Always the tough conversations to have. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we are women that are proud to be women and believe that women deserve to have spaces that are just theirs, the same way that men deserve to have spaces that are just theirs.
Word.
And we are two women raising a boy and navigating this world and navigating this society and generation that's going on right now. It's tough.
And
It's
he-
tough.
And he deserves to have his space and we deserve to have our space. So
Mhm. Yep.
let's rock and roll.
So,
Clinton,
all right.
thanks.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.